Welcome to Teachings from the Masters with Daryl Shaun Price.
Hi, welcome. So I want to talk to you about the most common thing I get from people when I'm helping them with manifestation, with stepping into their own power, with becoming the creator. And more often than not, it's a question that's worded something like this. How can I live in the wish fulfilled, and how can I stay in the vibration of the thing I want when everything around me isn't that? How can I live as somebody who's already wealthy when I've got all these bills and all these debts? And I think there's a misconception there that I want to talk about. So first off, I want to point out to you that what you're doing is nothing when you become the wish fulfilled. You're not running around changing the outside world, nor are you looking for the outside world to change. You're becoming so vibrationally coherent with whatever that wish is that the outside world has no choice but to change to match you. Basically, you're deciding this is what you want to experience. I want health. I want wealth. I want happy relationships. I want opportunities, whatever it is. I want this. This is what I'm having. Reality, find a way to catch up. But I'm having this. So you are in the perspective of it's already done and you already have it. And in the outside world, you're just observing. And this is the tricky part. Because yes, you want it, so you want to experience it. So a lot of people come to me and say, well, but if I don't see it, how do I know it's actually happened? And who cares if it happened inside if I never see it on the outside? There's this weird dichotomy. So here's my challenge to you, and this is what today's episode is all about. It isn't about you trying to shift reality, but you becoming so clear internally with what it is you want to experience that you start to ignore everything that is not that. That doesn't mean you're shirking your responsibilities. That doesn't mean that you're not paying bills. That doesn't mean you're not going to work, but you're not energetically reacting. And I'll give you some examples to help you through this today. But you stop giving your energy to the old life. And this is where most people get stuck, and I did for a long time. And it really started to click when I stopped focusing on, okay, well, I've got to keep in this vibration of what I want, got to keep in the vibration of what I want, and just let go of the attachment so much that I wasn't engaging energetically with the life as it is to my senses, which gave it room to dissolve and switch and change faster because I wasn't holding on to it. I wasn't forcing it to stay when the universe was already trying to shift in my favor. And think about this. I'm sure you've done it, or you wouldn't be listening to this podcast. So how many times have you meditated or taken someone's advice or done a manifestation technique or anything to get yourself to imagine the life you want, and it feels real and you love it and you're excited? And then you just kind of, well, I'm going to wait till it appears. I'm going to wait till it appears. And where does your energy go? Okay, well, until that comes, I still have to this. You know, I took a good look at myself a while ago and realized I'm spending all this time and all this energy reacting to everything around me. How is there any energetic room for anything new to come in? When people spoke, I felt like I had to respond and had to engage in a way that I was energetically 100% there and had to take care of that no matter what it was. When something came up, I had to put all my energy into taking care of that. There was no energy left to create. And I'm sure you're doing it too, because I've seen every person I've ever worked with do this at some point in their life. So take a look at anywhere in your life that you have an opinion. And it's not that opinions are bad. It's not that opinions are good. But if you have an opinion, you have an attachment to something being preferable to something else. You know, in the Tao Te Ching, it says that for you to create something that is beautiful and see the beauty in something, you must also create something that is ugly and see the ugliness in something else. You are creating with your perception. And you are feeding that perception with your attention and your energy. And we do this in so many ways. How many times, for example, do you find yourself so busy because of the things that have to get done that you're too drained to think about that big dream? How many times are you making sure everyone else around you feels good before you take care of yourself? How many times are you worried about what is going to happen or is not going to happen, and you're preparing for the worst just in case? So you never take time to live in the best. So the opinions that you have are judgments based on your current belief system. You believe this is better than that. So you have these opinions that support the judgment that this is better than that. Whatever this and that is, it doesn't matter. Whatever phase you're in life, those beliefs are what create those opinions you have over and over again. That's not a good person. Oh, that's a great person. I like that person. I don't like that person. This thing is amazing. This thing is horrible. Stop giving energy to the external. And yeah, this is going to look weird. It's going to look strange. It's going to feel strange at first, but it'll look really strange. It'll look like sometimes you're just operating on autopilot. You're just going through the motions because you are. Your energy is not in this that is happening. You're still responding accordingly. You still show up to work. You still do the things you need to. You still pay the bills. But there's no energy behind it. It's just, okay, I'm observing this play out. And that's the real key. You are in the world, but you're not of it anymore. You are no longer attached to what is playing out. You're just watching it happen. Yeah, there may be you physically responding, but you're just watching that happen too. No judgment, no opinion, no rights, no wrongs, no goods, no bads, nothing. Because as soon as you've released that, you can now allow everything and anything to be created because you're not attached to what has already been created. And this is where we slow down our creation over and over and over again. As you react to and have preference of things that are already happening, you are giving them power. You know, it was Alan Watts who said, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. That's 100% correct. And you have this power. You can do this. It's a lot easier than you think. Right now, I know what's going on in your mind. You're going through the idea, well, but I can't not be engaged. I'm just going to be rude. I'm just going to be seen as somebody who's arrogant and narcissistic and egotistical because I'm not responding. That's not true. In fact, what you're going to find, the less you attach and just observe what's happening, the more people are going to come to you and think, oh, wow, what a great listener. I feel so heard. I feel so understood. Because there's no attachment, there's no defensiveness. Because there's no attachment, there's no judgment. And you'll see that happen. And yeah, people will notice you're a little bit off. You're a little bit different. Things don't seem to bother you. In fact, people might get angry that things are not bothering you. Look at the state of the world. How come you're not pissed off? Because you are creating. You're not creating by focusing out there. You're creating by focusing on alignment in here. And yes, as you do this, you are stepping way out of a comfort zone. But you're also stepping into your power as the creator, as the master, as the one who was here to create. Think about it this way. So in a couple episodes or some previous episodes, I talked about you being an alchemist. Basically somebody who is mixing things together to create something new. So if you were doing an experiment in a lab, and you've got element A and element B that you're mixing together to create some type of a solution, you're not going to do what we often do with our manifestations and say, okay, I've got element A and element B, and I believe it's going to be this. Oh, it turned purple. Oh no, I don't like that shade of purple. That is the wrong shade of purple. Throw it out, start over. Nope, not going to do it. Let's try again. No, you're going to watch it happen. Okay, we mix it together. Let's see what happens. Do you like that or not? Does the result what you want or not? Okay, try again. That's what you're doing with life. You are the alchemist. You are taking energy and you are taking matter, and you are using energy to give form to matter to create experiences. So it's up to you to observe what you create without judgment. And we love the judgments. We love the opinions because it makes it easy. Our brain doesn't have to work anymore. Okay, we're just going to accept what is. Stop negotiating with your dream. You have it for a reason. Stop negotiating with the life you really want. We do this so easily. Oh man, I want financial freedom. It would feel so good to never have to pay a bill again, and I can go do what I want, and I can bless so many lives. And well, but I'm still having to pay these bills and do these things and work. And as long as I have a job that's good enough to do that, I guess that's good enough. Because you refuse to let go of this, you negotiate your dream smaller until it fits what you refuse to let go of. So how do you let go of what's happening? And that's all that you see. You do not trust your senses. You observe. You do not trust your current thoughts. They're just the patterns playing out of your current belief system. You observe. So what does this observation look like? Well, it looks like, for example, the next time somebody comes to you who is having an emotion of some sort, looks like you being aware of it, observing it, acknowledging that you heard the experience they are having without judging whether it's good or bad or anything else. Just observe. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that sounds really heavy. Oh, that's interesting. Wow, sounds like you went through a pretty big experience. No, that's good, that's bad, how horrible, how wonderful. Take it away. The moment you stop having any idea about what should or should not be, you let go of the current attachments to allow something new to be created. And it's a big leap of faith because your mind is going to go, but you're not a good person if you don't stand up for what is right always. You don't know what is right always, or you've already had the life you want. In fact, there's another verse in the Tao Te Ching that I really love that says, there is no greater evil than preparing to defend oneself. Now, it doesn't say you don't defend yourself, but preparing to defend oneself. Deciding right now, here's all the bad things that could happen, and I'm going to get ready for them, and I'm going to stand up against these things out there. Because what you're doing is feeding the life you don't want to live with all the attention you're giving preparing or standing up for. Now, this doesn't mean that if you're in a situation, you're not going to choose a preferable or not preferable. You've got to listen. There may be times you step into something that is not something you ever imagined yourself doing because it feels like peace. And there may be other times you step away from something you thought you would always be for and always be a part of because it no longer feels like peace. I was born and raised in a very, very conservative Christian home. At one point in my adult life, after going through a divorce, I was married for 11 years, had 4 kids, all within this realm of this very strict conservative Christian church that I was raised in. And at one point, it just didn't feel right anymore. Just something felt off and I had to step away. And I was the person who was so staunchly faithful to that religion. I remember telling people, it doesn't matter what happens to me. I will never give up being a part of this. But if I hadn't, I wouldn't be here now. I wouldn't have learned the things I've learned. I wouldn't be able to be helping you and so many others. Because the truth is this. Everything that's created out there is not deciding for you. You are deciding what is created out there. And the moment you let go of attachments to things have to be one way or another is the moment you free yourself. Free yourself to create anything you want. So instead of, which I know is what you've been doing, because I've seen so many people do it, I used to do it myself. So instead of, I've got to stay in the wish fulfilled, I got to keep imagining, I'm going to imagine all the money, I got to ignore everything out here because I got to imagine the money, imagine the money, imagine the money, imagine the money. No. Once you've imagined it, once you felt it, it felt real, let it go. And all you do is observe what is happening this moment without judgment. Anything. Someone's mad at you. Oh, that's interesting. That feels like it's really heavy. It feels like you've been through a lot. Someone's super happy with you and thinks you're the greatest person in the world. Oh, that's really nice. Thank you. Bills come in. Oh, that's interesting. That's a bill. Yep, I went to work and did a thing. I observed myself doing it. No emotions, no attachment. And I know you're going to say, well, how can I not have emotions if something's happening? Because it's happening to me. No, it's happening from you. And it's playing out because of something you've already created. And if you observe it, it closes the loop. Because you're no longer saying, okay, this scene that's playing out, let's put some more in it. Let's put some more in it. Emotions, let's put some more attachments, more attachments, more attachments. Nope. I'm going to observe it, let the loop close so I can create something else. I am observing. I am doing nothing. I'm not running out changing things. I'm not running out to quit my job. I'm not going to go sell everything. What I'm doing is just observing without attachment or judgment. And if you want to know where your attachments are, pay attention to your opinions, especially the ones you get really lit up about. I cannot stand attached. Oh, I absolutely love attached. Again, I want to point out opinions are not bad or good. All they are is a feedback loop telling you where your attachments are. That's what your emotions are about. Everything that's playing in front of you is just a projection of what you've already created. And the feedback loop is, oh, does it feel good or not? Does it feel good or not? Does it feel good or not? If something feels good and like peace, I'm going to lean into that a little bit. I'm not going to be attached to it. Oh, I'm going to watch this play out a little bit more. Something doesn't feel good and doesn't feel like peace. Yeah, I'm pulling my attention away from it completely. If anything does not match what I am currently creating, it doesn't get my attention. It doesn't get my energy. Yeah, I'll watch it happen. Oh, look, a car drove by. As simple as that. You could easily sit out on your front porch, your driveway, and watch cars go by without having any attachment. Just observe them. Think of life like that. Every experience is just a car going by or a cloud floating in the sky. It will come, it will go. And what you're actually doing is this. By choosing to observe instead of react, you are saying, I'm letting go of the old life. I've done all the inner work to bring in this new life. I'm giving it space now. The more you detach and just observe mindfully, the quicker the things you create will manifest into true experiences, will become matter that you can touch, will become things you interact with in the physical world. So, take a look today. Where are you the most reactionary? Where does your energy, attention go every day? Are you running around busy all the time and you feel off if there's not something to do and not sure what to do with yourself because you have to be doing something? There's an attachment. Are you always responding to people and every single thing? People don't necessarily need a response. But are you rushing to respond? You have to take the call. You have to answer the text. You have to make sure they're all okay. Attachment. If something comes across your awareness that you don't agree with, do you have to stand up and make your voice known? And you've got to make a stance and you've got to tell people what's right and wrong? Attachment. Every time something happens that you enjoyed, you've got to run and tell everyone about it to make sure that everyone else sees how cool this thing is. Attachment. These are all places where your energy and your attention is going to maintain the old life you've become habitually held on to. And there's a lot of other these pitfalls that I'm talking about. If you want a more detailed list, if you want more help at identifying where are my attachments and blind spots that I'm not seeing, reach out to me and let me know. We'll set something up. But in the meantime, just observe. Because as you observe the outside world, you're no longer reacting to it. It plays out. You're doing nothing. You're letting it play out. You respond accordingly as it plays out. But you're doing nothing. You're not changing things. You're not rushing around fixing the world. You stay in alignment and observe. As you do this, it's easier and easier to stay in alignment. And whatever you desire becomes created quicker because there is nothing greater than the power of you. And when you are in alignment, you will naturally create your happiest life. Thanks for being here. See you next time.